It's been a staple since its introduction in 1976. On this edition of Test Drive, the 10th generation Honda Accord. The Honda Accord has grown from something smaller than the current Civic hatchback to a mid-size sedan with room for a family of 5. It has also grown to include most of the desirable safety equipment. It now includes adaptive cruise control, lane departure warning with keep assist, and forward collision warning with auto braking. Sadly, blind spot monitoring requires moving up to the touring trim. The cabin of this Accord brings a very upscale experience. Nice soft touch materials, great seats, amenities galore, and a reworked infotainment system. You still have the touchscreen and hard buttons. The single biggest change, however, is a small one that makes a massive difference. Gone are those horrible finicky slider controls in favour of real knobs for volume and tuning. One of the biggest changes is found under the hood. Gone are the old 4-cylinder and V6 engines in favour of 2 potent turbocharged units. The base engine is a 1.5 litre turbo that pushes 192 horsepower and 192 pound-feet of torque at 1600 RPM. It is spry and reacts quickly to a prod at the gas pedal, and it's an easy match for the 2.4 litre 4 it replaces. The optional engine is a 2 litre turbo that makes 252 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque at 1500 RPM. Both are quiet, and unlike so many turbocharged engines, they use regular gas, which cuts the cost of ownership. Both new engines bring better fuel economy without giving up on performance. In the case of this 1.5 litre turbo, it'll get you to 100k in 7.9 seconds while sipping an average of 7.6 litres per 100 kilometres. By way of reference, that's 0.6 litres per 100 kilometres better than the old 2.4 litre engine, and it's also almost a second faster thanks to the early onset of the torque. The Tester arrived with the 1.5 litre turbo married to Honda's continuously variable transmission. Normally I hate these things, but Honda has it sorted as well as anything I've driven. It makes fake shifts under hard acceleration, and there are paddle shifters that work when you're in sport mode. As a result, it makes the best of the power at play without forcing the engine to motorboat under hard acceleration. In spite of being slightly shorter overall, this new Accord gets a 55mm stretch in the wheelbase, which means the rear seat riders get 49mm more rear seat legroom. And when you get to the back here, more good news. There's 473 litres of trunk space, which is up from the outgoing car. In the end, this new Accord feels more like a full-size ride than it does a mid-size sedan. Another thing that makes a big difference is the new chassis. It is 24% stiffer in bending and 32% better torsionally. This and the fact it's also lighter with less mass over the front wheels means the latest Accord is as nimble as a family sedan gets. Through the pylons there was very little body roll, and understeer was far enough out, it was a non-issue. The nicely weighted steering setup then completes a pretty picture. This 10th gen Accord really does set some very high standards. It's faster, yet it's more fuel efficient. It's got more room, and yet it's lighter. But the icing on the cake, it's both comfortable and sporty at the same time.